Okay, it's not too often that AMC goes just buck wild in after hours. Now, the stock's coming down a little bit at the time of recording this video, but you're still up 17 cents in after hours, up about 3.5%. AMC stock is currently trading at $4.98 per share. Now, this is specifically interesting because, well, coming tomorrow, AMC will report earnings. Now, I think this may be telling us a couple different things. I'll go over the reason why AMC stock on face value is soaring in after hours. At one point, AMC stock hit as high as $5.15 per share. And I'll give you the more, logical reason why I think AMC stock is going higher in after hours. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel for this special edition of everything you need to know in regards to AMC stock. Now, let's get started. First things first, I will point out this is driving a lot more attention to AMC. I was just on AMC's page here on StockTwits, like 2 minutes ago, and there's been 47 new AMC posts. Now, what's going on? Let's take a look at some of the sentiment here for AMC. Sentiment currently is bullish at 67. Message volume is at 56. This is a lot better than what you've seen earlier in the day, okay? Especially better than yesterday. Yesterday, you were bearish at 32, and now you're bullish at 67. This is a good sign heading into tomorrow when, as I established in the last video, people are already bullish heading into AMC earnings. If you actually take a look at the option activity here for AMC today, about 78% of the volume was calls. 78% the day before earnings. That's pretty unusual. 22% was puts, so almost 5 times as much call activity than put activity. Now, if you take a look at hedge funds and institutional option activity in AMC, it was definitely on the low side today, but a lot more positive than what we're typically used to seeing. You had 3 orders totaling $46,500 with a positive order value of 75%. We only had 3 specific trades, one of which was a March 1st expiration 450 call worth $11,000, a March 1st 450 put worth $12,000, and a September 20th $5 call worth about $24,000. And I do think at this point, it's very attractive on a risk to reward proposition to play AMC. And let me tell you why. AMC stock has been trading at some of the lowest levels we've ever seen AMC trade at. All-time lows. In good times, bad times, fundamentally for the company, it has not mattered. AMC has been at rock bottom for a very long time. So expectations are very low. Now, me as a trader, specifically with a trader and a long-term investor, I like to buy when people are very fearful and pessimistic. If I'm not going to go out and, buy $100,000 worth of the stock, I do want to at least make a trade on the stock. And I'm saying the stock, not in reference just to AMC, but to other names. Take, for an example, Enphase recently. Enphase got beaten down a couple earnings in a row. The stock went from $300 down to like $70 or $80. Reported terrible earnings. But by then, the markets had expected that. So what happened? The stock went up almost 20% the next day on terrible earnings. So in the sense of AMC, it's a little bit different than a stock like Enphase. Enphase is not diluting shareholders in the form of via, raising capital. AMC is. And AMC has to because AMC has a lot of debt that has been forced onto the company. Here's the thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. AMC stock goes parabolic. Like parabolic. If Adam Aaron says, we are not going to dilute shareholders for the foreseeable future, boom. It is on like Donkey Kong. Potential short squeeze shebang, the whole Moas-like event back on the table. Now, I would expect you could do something like Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat and After Hours here today posted better than expected earnings, better than expected guidance. Nothing too crazy, let's be honest. It wasn't like an Nvidia quarter. It wasn't anything like, wow, that's just crazy. But when a stock is so beaten down like Beyond Meat, trading at all-time lows, it doesn't take a lot of great news to get the stock up 70% like you are seeing the stock here in After Hours. Now, again, Beyond Meat, not necessarily in the same camp as AMC, diluting shareholders, not nearly as much as AMC has. So there's that going against the stock. But to the same point, if AMC does give you a commitment not to dilute shareholders, I expect AMC stock will do very, very well. To the contrary, if we do not get that commitment to not dilute shareholders, then AMC stock is going to do what AMC stock does. Probably sell off anywhere from 5 to 10% after earnings, or go up 5 to 10% after earnings. That's always a possibility, but I wouldn't expect any kind of large outsized move. With that being said, we do have some news that is causing this rally in After Hours that you should know, at least from what I can see and quantifiably show you. An hour ago, it was reported that Dune Part 2 could bring the biggest box office weekend so far this year, according to a report out from Forbes. This film aims for a spicy $80 million weekend debut. And, well, I think this is the daily debut. 170 million for the global debut. So 80 million for the domestic US market and 170 million internationally. So that could be good and is expected to be the best film so far of 2024. This film, it has the highest rating on that movie rating website, IBD, whatever it's called. I know you guys know it. It's not Rotten Tomatoes, but the other one. The best rating out of any movie ever. So it's definitely being hyped up as a really good movie. We'll see if it does do anything fundamentally for AMC, but I think that does highlight something important to point out for AMC is the stock is so beaten down. Any good news at this point is subject to be very good news for AMC. Now, in my personal opinion, I think the timing of this is interesting. I mean, sure, AMC really hasn't had any good news for a while, so could this be the reason why AMC went up big in After Hours, at least still up about 3%? At one point, you were up almost 10% in After Hours. Is this the reason? Maybe. What do I think? Well, I think it's a combination of this, and it's a combination of shorts potentially saying, hey, we should really hedge our bets heading into AMC earnings, given what Beyond Meat did here in After Hours. If you're a short, you don't want to see your short position go up 60% after earnings. I mean, there's a lot of shorts that are also short in Beyond. So besides taking that risk, you know, potentially hedging that risk makes some sense heading into AMC earnings. Now, I do think this is a little bit more confirmation, if you will, that the short interest in AMC is probably higher than most of us expect, okay, in AMC. But obviously, we'll have to... we'll see what happens. I think, again, it really comes down to, do we get a commitment not to dilute shareholders? If that happens, AMC could rally 50% after earnings. Literally like what you're seeing here in After Hours with Beyond Meat. If we don't, then don't expect anything too crazy. Adam Aaron really hyped up, that he's going to have something big to say on the earnings call. I can't think of anything else that would get investors excited besides that commitment not to dilute shareholders. And at this point, that's not expected at all. It's not priced into AMC as a possibility, and it would really catch a lot of the shorts, all of the shorts, essentially off guards. It's almost like they forgot that Adam Aaron did this in 2022. So this has already happened before, this commitment to not seeing dilution. And this happened after a period of a lot of dilution. And then what happened? AMC stock rallied about 300% in the course of a month. With that being said, I do still have the trade that I put on AMC. It's went up about 55% in value. It is an AMC $5.50 call. I bought 10 of them for $20 a piece. Now, they don't expire this Friday. They expire next Friday. I want to give myself a couple days of time. Now, after today's move in after hours and considering the IV and the premium that might be attached to these contracts coming tomorrow, wouldn't surprise me if they're going for $37 to $45 a piece tomorrow. If I possibly can sell 3 of these and make 7 free, then that's what I'll look to do heading into AMC earnings, because I think, betting on Adam Aaron just giving us a commitment not to dilute shareholders is probably a very low probability, right? Statistically, I'm sure that's probably not going to happen. Again, if it does, that's where you get some outsized returns. Who knows? I might just hold the position heading into earnings, but I did keep it small. I think if you are going to trade AMC options, especially near-term options like I did, you got to go into it with the mentality of, I'm probably going to lose all of this money that I put in this trade. And that's why I always like to take risk management into account. I should have went larger with this trade. It looked like a no-brainer trade when I made it, and I made this on February 22nd. It seemed like a no-brainer at the time. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Should have went a little bit larger in the trade. That's true. They actually dipped down to $18, $19, $17 at one point on the 23rd. But of course, I did not do that. I do think if I am correct and we do get a commitment not to dilute shareholders, then AMC stock could easily double from here over the next 2 weeks or so, and that could put AMC back at $8 to $9 per share. These contracts could pay out anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. That is on a better case scenario. So I do like options in AMC right now. I think if you get more time, that's more appropriate. But you got to remember, if you trade options, you're going to lose all of your money. That's the only way to trade options, is to go into it with that mentality. And honestly, if I were to try to buy a position now in AMC, I would at least go out to April 19th. See these $6 calls, they look attractive. $54 for a $6 call, I'll take that. If I'm right, AMC could go to $10 per share here over the next couple of weeks. That would be almost 1,000% return on those. But the more time, honestly, the better. You really can't go wrong with getting more time here. And I wouldn't even be surprised if AMC stock could rally higher than $10 per share if we did get a commitment not to dilute shareholders. It wouldn't surprise me if AMC stock went to $15 or $20 per share. Honestly, I would not be super shocked if that were to happen. Nonetheless, AMC giving some of this back here in after hours. It looks like futures markets did just open here a couple of minutes ago, and the S&P and the NASDAQ took a couple candles lower, especially the NASDAQ. You are seeing NVIDIA selling off a little bit. ARM had a pretty rough day today. Some of your AI stocks had a little bit of a give back, and we did start to see a broader kind of rotation in our markets. But I do think tomorrow is going to be an interesting day for AMC, setting up positive again with that news we got in after hours with Dune. I would just, be a little bit more on the cautious side, though. I don't know if this Dune news is the real reason why AMC stock is going higher in after hours. Maybe someone got tipped off about what is coming with AMC earnings. We'll see. Short interest, 12.27%. Not super low, not super high. I personally think AMC stock is hundreds of percent sold short. And we'll just have to wait and see if that is ultimately proven correct, and see where AMC stock goes from here. Nonetheless, I got to tend to this monster over here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.